And I also want you to know that everything that I'm teaching you to do, I had to do myself. All right, I didn't come out with the ability to do this. In fact, I was so afraid to do this. You guys have heard of whiplash? All right, I had wimp-lash. In fact, come back in time with me. I'm in my mid to late 20s. As you heard, I was about 50 pounds heavier than I am now. I was in a job that I could do with my eyes closed. I hadn't had anyone that I could legitimately call my boyfriend in almost a decade. And it was a Saturday night, and I was alone again, naturally. I was about halfway through a six-pack while I was sitting on my winter white sectional with orange fingers from the nacho cheese Doritos that I was eating while I was waiting for my extra large pizza to show up. And for the first time in a long time, up came some tears. Now, I don't know about you, but I was raised on the south side of Chicago, and my family didn't do tears. We were one of those families that if somebody was crying, it was, if you're gonna cry, I'll give you something to cry about. So I was really good at sucking it down. The suck it down, move it on philosophy. But you know, we can't do that forever. Well, the doorbell rings, and the next thing you know, staring in front of me is this 16-year-old, pimply face, pizza delivery guy with, seriously, the largest pizza box I had ever seen. You had to almost tilt it on its side to get it through the door. And in that moment, I couldn't even be real. I glanced down the hallway to my imaginary friends and I said, "Our pizza's here." And my eye caught that mirror in the bathroom down the hall. And it was in that moment that I went, "Oh, Colette, you are a big, fat liar. You are running around pretending everything is okay, and it is not okay." And it was never about the pizza. It's just that I was using the pizza and the food as a way to avoid any of those uncomfortable feelings that I didn't want to deal with. Like insecurity, doubt, vulnerability. I was afraid to take risks because what if I failed? I always wanted everything to be perfect. Well, what that meant was you don't try things because if you are chasing perfectionism, then that means you can't ever, it's never good enough to put it out there. So it was in that moment that I decided enough and that I was going to speak my truth, which meant that my thoughts, my words, and my actions were one and the same. So if I was thinking about doing something, I had to speak up about it and put it into action. If there was a difficult conversation that kept coming up, instead of telling everybody else about it, I needed to tell the source about it and take that action. And I'm not telling you that it was easy, but that getting back in the driver's seat of our lives is the only way to get what we really want to get. We've talked about that this morning. And it all starts with awareness. You have to start noticing when your thoughts, words, and actions are not one and the same. I kind of compare it to those speed bumps on a freeway, that when you start to go out of your lane or out of alignment, it kind of warns you. Well, I believe we have an internal we just don't listen to it. Because it means that we're going to have to do something that makes us uncomfortable. But I'm here to tell you that growth and comfort, incompatible. So we can stay comfortable, or we can go after what we really want and came here to do.